So with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. coming up, it seems like this is the most talked about fight right now, as this is definitely the most intriguing fight I think that we see on the boxing schedule, as this fight means a lot for both these guys and the trajectory of their careers. As for Brian Norman Jr., this is a test to see where he really is at that top level, and if he can beat Devin Haney, then he's going to ascend to the next level and become a superstar, as Devin Haney is obviously a very popular boxer. And then on the other hand, this is a good test for Devin Haney to see where he stands in this new division, as Devin Haney hasn't been having the best fights recently, so this fight is definitely going to see where he still stands at that top level. And if he can beat a guy like Brian Norman Jr., who is known as a big power puncher, then this is going to be huge for him in the future of his career, especially if he can win and become a 3-weight division champion, as these two are going to be fighting for the WBC belt, which Brian Norman Jr. owns right now. So this fight is destined to be a great one and a good test for both these guys. Now in this fight, when you look online, it seems like a lot of people are split on who they think is going to win this fight, as that's just how close this bout really is. Now firstly, on Brian Norman Jr.'s side, a lot of people believe that he's going to be able to stop Devin Haney, as obviously we've seen Devin Haney hurt before in the past, especially to the left hook like we saw against Ryan Garcia, as Devin Haney couldn't stop a left hook to save his life, which if a guy like Ryan Garcia is hitting him with that left hook, a guy like Brian Norman Jr., if he is able to catch him, can probably put him out, as we've seen Brian Norman Jr. knock people out with his left hook, as it is very good and very powerful. Now Brian Norman Jr. seems to have power in both of his hands as well, as his past few fights have been some crazy knockouts, which if you're Devin Haney watching those fights, it's definitely scary to see, as knowing you're going to be going up against that is something that I wouldn't want to do it myself. But for Devin Haney, you have to give him the respect for going up against a guy like Brian Norman Jr., because he knows what power he possesses and he's bringing to the table. Now the thing is, in boxing, power punching isn't the only thing that you need to win fights, as yes, of course, if you're able to hit someone and catch them, it could be devastating, but what if you're not able to do what you want to do in the ring? Well, that's where a guy like Devin Haney comes into play, as Devin Haney is known for his movement around the ring and his pure boxing skill, as Haney is an excellent boxer in the ring, and that's what makes this fight really close, and what also makes it so intriguing, as both these guys have very different styles, and it's going to be cool to see how their styles can clash in the ring. Now a lot of people think that Devin Haney is just a runner in the ring, as his last fight against Jose Ramirez wasn't the most entertaining for the eyes, but in reality he shut Ramirez down for all 12 rounds straight, and just outboxed him easily on the scorecards. Now if you watch both these guys fight, it's safe to say that they're both very good, but one thing for sure that we know is how good Devin Haney really is, as he's been in there with some top guys and beaten these top guys, so we know what level Devin Haney can fight at. But Brian Norman Jr. hasn't really faced the best opposition in his career yet, as he's knocked out these guys exceptionally, but they haven't really been the most skilled opponents. And with a guy like Devin Haney with his boxing skill and footwork, it's going to be hard to catch him so easily. Now in this fight, I think Brian Norman Jr. is going to be very dangerous early on, as Devin Haney definitely needs to use his footwork to move around the ring to get out of the way. As one thing for sure is Brian Norman Jr. definitely doesn't have the same amount of footwork as Devin Haney does, as his footwork isn't terrible, but Devin Haney's is definitely better, which I think that's definitely going to be a part of Devin Haney's game plan, is just to use his footwork and his jab and speed around the ring to get out of the way from Brian Norman Jr., as I don't think Devin Haney's going to trade with Brian Norman Jr. in the pocket, as I think this fight could either be really boring or really exciting. Now by boring, I don't mean it's going to be a boring boxing fight, as I think I can see this one way of Devin Haney just boxing and getting out of the way of Brian Norman Jr. and just constantly moving like he did in the Ramirez fight, which if he does that against a guy like Brian Norman Jr. would be a good performance, but obviously a lot of people aren't going to like to watch that. Now the other way I could see this going is becoming a sloppy fight, as maybe Brian Norman Jr. can catch Devin Haney or just make it ugly in there, which would definitely work better for his favor, as if it comes down to straight boxing, I just can't see Brian Norman Jr. beating Devin Haney, but if he's able to catch him and counter him, then he can definitely win this fight. But once again, if you just have to go off things we've seen in the past, you have to go with Devin Haney, as we've seen Devin Haney compete at the top level and beat top level guys, and we know what skills he's capable of possessing, where Brian Norman Jr. just hasn't really shown that in the boxing ring yet, as yes, again, he's beaten guys devastatingly with devastating power punches and knockouts, but we just haven't seen him face a top level guy to show where he's really at, so it's really just untapped to know where Brian Norman Jr. really stands at that top level. But I still think it's going to be a close and scary fight for both these guys, as once again, it just really matters a lot for both these guys in the future of their careers, as if Brian Norman Jr. can win this fight, he's on the brink of becoming a superstar, as Devin Haney is one of the most known boxers on this planet, and also one of the most hated as well. So if Brian Norman Jr. can put him out, then he's going to become a fan favorite. And for Devin Haney, he needs to win this fight desperately, as beating a guy like Brian Norman Jr. can win a lot of the fans back for Devin Haney, and just show that he's still one of these top guys that we need to look out for. And who even knows, whoever wins this fight could definitely be on a good run to undisputed at 147 as well, as there's so many good names in this division now, which is going to create for a lot of exciting fights. And I do think that these are two of the top guys in this division, and whoever wins this fight is definitely going to have an easier path to undisputed, as I think this is kind of the top level fight right now. As if we look at the other champions like Rolly, Barrios, it's definitely not the best guys in the world. So this is the fight to look out if you want to watch a good boxing fight, and a fight that means a lot to both these guys, which is really just what makes it so intriguing. Now let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this fight, and who you think is going to be the one to take it home.